What if I told you that a deal happening thousands of miles away could decide how much you pay for gas, could decide whether inflation gets worse, and maybe even what happens to your investment? Sounds ridiculous, right? But this week, markets reacted immediately, and most people completely missed why. Today, I'm breaking down 6 ways the US-Iran peace deal could affect your money, using simple language, zero politics, and things that actually matters to your life. Whenever people hear international news, they think, okay, but what does that have to do with me? That's a fair question. Because unless you trade oil for a living, you probably don't care about what happens in the Middle East, but your wallet does. And by the end of this video, you will understand why investors immediately started to pay attention. My name is Elias, and if you are new to this channel, I upload videos on personal finance, investment, and business. Let's get right into it. Imagine waking up next month and gas suddenly becomes cheaper. No coupons, no new government checks, no acts, just lower prices. There's a shipping route called the Strait of Hormuz. Some of you have heard about it, while some have not. But around one out of every barrels of oil actually moves through there. That means if things get tense, oil becomes nervous. And when oil gets nervous, your wallet also gets nervous. But when market cools, market expect more oil supply and then oil prices actually drop. And what this means is that you may eventually end up spending less filling your tank. But gas prices are only the obvious effect. The next one is where this gets scary. Number two is the hidden inflation effect. Most people think inflation means that, oh, prices went up. But inflation is actually a chain reaction. Oil becomes expensive, shipping becomes expensive, stores becomes expensive, even your life becomes expensive. And then suddenly you are paying $8 for something that used to cost $5. Now imagine that chain moving in reverse. Lower oil pressure can eventually help to ease price pressure across the economy. Of course, not overnight, but slowly. And this matters because Americans are exhausted. People literally want to breathe. But if inflation cools, something even more important might happen. This next one affects people way more than they even realize, and that's interest rates. Because inflation and interest rates are basically connected. When inflation stays high, borrowing money hurts, borrowing money becomes difficult. Car loans, credit cards, mortgages, monthly payments, everything. But if inflation pressure should ease, the market now start asking if borrowing money could become less painful later. Now, that does not mean instant low interest rates, but expectations move first, and then the market reacts before regular people notice it. Now, here is where people start making money or losing money. And that leads us to number four, which is stocks don't react equally. When news like this drop, people usually say, oh, the stock market went up. That sentence is actually useless because the real question is who went up? Is it airlines or retail or tech or energy? Notice that not every company wins. Think about it. If fuel costs should go down, some businesses actually save millions, others don't. So when the market now calms down, money starts moving again. And understanding where it moves is how investors think differently. But stocks are not what surprise you the most. The next one actually affects everybody, and that is your everyday life. The funny thing is, people notice gas prices, but they don't notice the little hundred things that is connected to fuel, that is connected to delivery, connected to flights, connected to shipping, store shelves, and even random purchases online. That's why this story matters. Not because you suddenly become an oil expert, but because global events quietly sneak into daily life and most people never connect the dots. But before you start thinking this is all good news, there's actually one problem, which is the fact that all this could still change. This agreement is not the end, it's more like an intermission. Deals can change, negotiations can stall, markets can reverse, and that means that oil can move, stocks can move, prices can move, and all this could happen very fast. Which means the lesson is not celebrate, the lesson is pay attention, because money follows headlines more than people even realize. So here's what we've learned. This deal could affect gas prices, it could affect inflation, it could affect interest rates, it could affect stocks, everyday spending, and even future investing opportunities. That's why smart money does not ignore global news. They translate headlines into consequences. And the people who understand these consequences usually make better financial decisions. One question I have is this: which of these effects actually worries you the most? Is it gas prices? Is it inflation? Or is it investment? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more videos that explain big news in simple money terms, make sure you subscribe and like this video. See you guys in the next one.